Hey, my name's Drew. I want to personally thank you for clicking on that ad and coming to this page. Let me explain to you what mission critical influence is, why I created it for you, what you're going to get out of it, and just how the logistics of everything works. Listen, it's time to transform your battlefield experience into a keynote that moves audiences. I created mission critical influence because you're out of the military now. The uniform has come off, but the stories are still with you. Now, this is not therapy. This is not for those that just need to tell their story so that they can get healing. This is for folks that are already healed, for those who have walked through the fire and made it through the dark night. You faced down your demons and you've made peace with the past. And now you're ready to lead from it. You feel the call to speak, to coach, to write, to lead, but you just don't know where to start. You've spent your life learning how to fight for our country, and now it's a completely new career. That can be terrifying. When you sit down to compose your thoughts, you just get stuck. Your experiences are so intense, so uncommon that civilians can't always comprehend the weight of what you lived through. I didn't go through combat. I remember when 9/11 happened, I walked directly into the recruiter's house, but I have asthma, and so I wasn't able to serve in the way that you have. Instead, I lived my life in the research departments, fighting to get new technology added to the warfighter, to you, in the field, technology that worked, that you could rely on because I couldn't be there by your side. That's been the great privilege of my life, is to support you from the shadows. And now I get to walk with you through this next phase of life as I help you articulate the stories that are so important to you. Your experiences are so intense, so uncommon, that civilians can't always comprehend the weight of what you lived through. How do you talk about CQB, loss, split second decisions, or surviving the unforgiving? How do you talk about it in a way that moves people who've never worn the uniform, who've never experienced war? And even if you do get the words out, how do you translate that experience into something relevant, something civilians can grasp, and something they actually need, value, and are willing to pay for? Here's the truth, and I want you to hear me here. This isn't a problem. It's a gift. You're not average. You've achieved what only a select few ever will. You've lived through experiences that only the brave will ever face. You've survived what few live to tell the tale about. And that story, the stories that live within you that are now ready to inspire others, they're not a burden. They're a weapon. It's not baggage. It's a blueprint for others to follow. It's your next mission. I want you to get your head around this. This is maybe your final mission, is to bring the story of freedom home and to deliver it with power. There are people out there that need your clarity to find their direction. They need your strength to rediscover their own. They need your message to make sense of what they're going through. This is your final leadership and your next level of service. It's time to bring the story of freedom home and to deliver it not as a memory, but as a message that will change lives. So, enough of that, enough about me, and enough about why I need to help you speak. Mission Critical Influence is a 90-day evolution for combat veterans, special operators who are called to speak, coach, write, and lead. It's not a course, it's weapons training for the stage. It's tactical, it's structured, it's mission driven. Here's what you're going to get. And these are the battle tested benefits here. Every week, we're going to do a weekly training. It's one tactical session per week focused on structure, vocal command, presence, branding is what we call it in the industry. Then you're going to get real-time feedback and drills. You're going to sharpen your message and hone your delivery to a razor sharp edge. And by the end of the 90-day cycle, you are going to have a 20-minute keynote that is stage ready and designed to sell and stir audiences. But that's not all. You're also going to walk away with the skills to craft your own talks. You don't have one story inside you. You have a lifetime of experience, and to convert those into keynotes that you can sell over and over again, and then to be able to adapt those keynotes to the needs of your audience, those are the skills that we're going to be able to teach you. You're going to learn how to reverse engineer influence and to build future keynotes by yourself anytime, anywhere. And you're going to learn how to master leadership communication. You're going to gain the same tools that I've used while coaching Air Force colonels, NCOs, directors, CEOs, founders, and private company owners. You're going to learn to command the room, to change culture. Think back to the officers and NCOs that you respected the most. They didn't just talk, they aligned, they inspired, and they set the tone. And then they got in the trenches with you and served as you were serving. That's what I'm going to be doing in these weekly sessions, is helping you step by step as you craft your first 20-minute keynote speech. Now, if you love this, and I'm positive you will, we're going to keep running this on a 90-day cycle. So let's get your first keynote, then your second keynote, then your third keynote. And by that point, you'll be booking stages. And then we get to talk about how to start coaching people and how to do the follow-up revenue streams that come with speaking. So who is this for? This is for special operators and combat veterans. It's for leaders who have healed and are transitioning into a career of influence and are ready to serve and lead again. This time, however, the battle is for the hearts and minds of men, and you'll be fighting with your message from the stage. It's for those who feel called to speak, coach, and lead from the experience. Now, there's lots of coaches and speakers out there, but the reason I specifically set up this community is because I know that your stories are real, impactful, and needed. Let me explain to you why this works. I spent my career designing military hardware to keep you alive and to help you win. I know that when you leave the special operations community, it feels like death. And that's not a light statement. It literally feels like death. You go from the top of your game, doing one of the most important jobs that exist, to being a fry cook, to being a car salesman, to being a middle manager. I know exactly what that pain feels like and the loss of identity that comes with it. And we both know that not everyone makes it through that transition. If you've made it through that transition, I want you to help me help others make it through that transition, to see that their transition out of pulling a trigger is transition into changing lives and keeping our freedom alive in a completely different way. When you return home, not everybody understands you. They don't understand the sacrifice that your family has paid. They don't understand the sacrifices you've paid personally to keep us free, because the mission has always come first. And then nothing. You feel lost and left out in the wind without a support network. I may not have worn the uniform, but I did spend a career serving the silent community, and it's my honor to keep doing that now by helping you craft your story into a keynote and your voice into influence. It's my pleasure to serve you again. So here's what I need from you. I'm looking for 5 operators ready to be accepted into the next evolution. This isn't training. It's a new deployment with your message as a mission. Click on the link below when you're ready to report for duty.